What is up, everyone? Thank you so much for watching another episode of Moral Dilemma.
Now, wait a second. Is this our 20th episode?
Is this? This is our 20th
20th episode!
Oh my god.
I came back at the right time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't even think we'd get through the first one.
Absolutely. Let's do the name thing because people that can't see us are going to be real confused if we don't say our
Really?
names.
Okay.
I am Ryan.
My name's Eric.
I'm Corey.
I'm Daniel.
And this is Moral Dilemma.
This is Moral Dilemma. You already know what it is. Yeah, 20 episodes. Can't believe we made it this
I
far.
know.
It's been a journey.
I can't believe you stayed with
Has
me
been
for
a
this
journey.
long.
Yeah, we've had our highs and we've had some really low lows. For
We
sure.
only fired one person, right? Adam Farnsworth.
Yeah, but we fired one person. We've
Yeah.
had a lot of
We had to ship some people to college.
yeah. It's
But
been a shame,
Corey
but we
came
got
back.
Corey back.
Yeah.
Corey's
I'm back today.
Yeah, Dan's been here 3 times.
Yeah.
Which
Thank you.
I'm surprised you haven't got us all arrested.
It's coming soon.
It's working on it. We have really good lawyers, but we have a poppin' episode for you. If my calculations are correct, this one will come out around Halloween. Around.
Yeah,
Like
we
maybe
don't
a
know.
little bit before, but it's going to come out during the spooky season. So one of our topics are going to be
Spooky
about spooky stuff. Eric just pulled up something on his iPad called Darby O'Gill and the Little People. It's a movie,
Disney Plus.
which I guess it's time to go into our first topic already. Eric's jumped the gun. He's ready to
I'm
watch
just
the
going to
movie.
hit play and play the movie.
Yeah, we're going to talk about our favorite movies to watch. Not necessarily favorite movies that are kind of spooky, kind of give off that fall harvest vibe. Some people like to say harvest. Some people don't like the H word.
Harvest? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're
Because
Halloween.
Cedarville, our Christian college, had a harvest festival or a harvest party
Okay.
instead of trick or treat.
Did they do like trunk or treat or anything with that, or they
Not
just...
not at college, but like probably.
Why not? That'd be cool.
Well, I remember a few years I'd just go around the neighborhood with my friends and go trick or treating with all the little kids.
On campus?
I love Halloween. Yeah.
You did on campus?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good time. We're having a track or treat at our church.
Yeah. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, we're gonna talk about movies, TV shows, commercials.
And I'm assuming we could say things from our childhood, things
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
adulthood,
Yeah.
anything we wanted to
That's
talk
where
about.
I'm going
Absolutely.
with this.
So yeah, who wants to kick us off? A good Halloween harvest
Let's let Corey
theme
go.
movie.
So Eric just pointed me out. I don't know. I kind of feel a little honored because it's been so long.
It's
since I've
been so
with you
long.
guys.
Yeah.
How long has it been before we
I'm
start?
About
going
a
to say
month.
4 episodes maybe
Yeah, I was thinking
that
about
I
a
haven't
month.
been here. 4 episodes.
Yeah,
Probably.
we missed you.
I can check
I
on
missed you guys
Spotify.
too. It's
Yeah,
a-
we absolutely missed you.
it's definitely a good time being here. So, so I took this a little different, not really differently. When I think of Halloween stuff, I think of my childhood. So
Yeah.
like, one thing that immediately came to mind, which this isn't even Halloween exclusive, but whenever I think of like Halloween, I think of Scooby Doo.
Oh,
Just like across
That's
the
an obvious
board.
one.
yeah.
Just like because of like people wearing costumes, like there's always like a monster. It was something I loved watching as a kid, and even like the Scooby Doo movies and stuff. That's just what I think of. That's like the first thing that comes to mind.
And no matter how scary it got, you always knew that somebody is going to be somebody.
Except for that one. There was one where they turned into werewolves, right?
There was one movie. It was
Zombie
Moonscar Island.
It was Zombie
That
Island.
was
Island,
a-
but
that
that
was
was
a
the
movie.
name.
Yeah.
That was the name of it. That was the only one.
Threw me for a loop.
Yeah, that was the only one
Oh.
where they were actually like evil spirits.
Yeah.
I will say I relate to Scooby Doo too, because you know the whole idea of why Shaggy and Scooby were hungry all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That reminds me of being in college too, because I went to OU, so that was pretty much. You know,
In college, all that brain work makes you hungry.
Now, have you guys seen the new Scooby Doo movie?
yes,
Okay.
I have.
It was actually pretty good.
It was pretty good.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it. Is it called Scoob?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Is it good?
The lady at the library snuck it under the counter to us because we go to the library so many times. She's like, "Well, somebody had this on hold, but I'm gonna let you guys have it."
Oh, we won't mention the
I won't mention-
library. We don't want to get anybody in
Just got
trouble.
exposed. Just slide it again.
Dang. I also love, and I never realized this until I was older, but I saw a thing where it pointed it out. I love how someone pointed out to me that Scooby-Doo is like the first thing that shows kids that like most of the monsters around you are actually people you know.
Ooh,
Yeah.
So
deep,
like it's like not just
deep.
it's not usually some big thing. Like the bad person could be the person like right down the street, and I thought that was cool too.
It's good to know when you're thinking about serial.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I remember. I used to love Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like reboot up like series and
Yeah.
stuff. I saw the theme song live.
I always hated what was the little guy? The
Scrappy Doo.
I hated
Oh,
him.
he's awful.
And his-
I hated him so bad. Like he ruined Scooby Doo for
And
me.
then-
Like as a kid, I liked Scooby Doo. Then you had this scrappy guy, and I'm like, what?
When he had his cousin. Dum,
yeah,
dum,
get
dum,
them out of here.
Do you guys remember the first live action Scooby Doo movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Scrappy was the villain the whole time.
That was the
Yeah.
second one, wasn't it?
No, I think it was the first one.
Because there
Oh,
were
I
two live action
Mm-hmm.
ones.
Yeah,
I think it was the first one. Yeah, because they were on the island in the
Yeah,
first one.
they were on the island, and
That was
Yeah.
that was a great. That was
Scrappy
a great
like
movie.
absorbed their souls to become a monster.
Yeah, it's
It was so
crazy.
random.
Yeah, and the guy who played Shaggy, there's an interview with him talking about how he got his voice. He would go in his trailer or whatever and just scream bloody murder for like half an hour.
to get
Oh,
hoarse.
wow.
And just to get his voice hoarse, yeah.
Wow.
And then,
Dan with the facts.
Yeah.
It's gonna. We have a segment today about Dan just a bunch of facts. And pumped.
I would say that the Scooby movie that came out, I didn't like the Scoob.
Yeah.
I didn't like the voice of Scratchy or whatever.
Scratchy.
Scratchy.
That's the
Shaggy.
Shaggy. Scratchy. Itchy.
Itchy. Are these some of the
Bumpy.
seven dwarfs I don't know about?
that was the Preparation H commercial.
Sorry, I wasn't with it.
Wasn't a big fan of the voice of a Scratchy. The last Scooby Doo. Sounds like you're a big fan. Yeah, but no, those are some good Halloween vibes.
Yeah, that's what really stuck out to me because it kind of like transcends across the years. But
Yeah.
whenever that's what I think of.
Mm-hmm.
So
I went to a Simple Plan concert one time, and they did the theme song, the "What's New Scooby Doo," and they played it live.
Oh,
And
wow.
It was
yeah,
it was an event.
a lot of people don't know that that's who sings that.
Yeah, exactly. Who made the original Scooby Doo theme song? It was a big band, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but that was back in the 60s.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
Because Scooby-Doo was huge because, like, they always had... It was, like, one of the first cartoons that had, like, guest people on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Harlem Globetrotters would be
Yeah.
on there. And, like, it's kind of like... It was kind of like The Simpsons before The Simpsons started doing that. You know, of course, it was the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mystery Machine.
Who was that? Oh, I guess it wasn't Larry Marks. Is anyone who that is?
No,
No.
No, I thought it was a band that did it. Yeah, well.
no
Oh,
idea.
well. Thanks, Larry.
Yeah, thanks Larry for making our childhood. Who wants to go next? Eric?
Oh, sure.
I know I know one that you're going to talk
Well,
about.
I
It
was going
looks
to talk about it. If
terrifying.
you want to check out Darby O'Gill and the Little People
On Disney Plus.
on Disney Disney Plus,
Sponsor us,
at least
Darby
check it
O'Gill.
out. There's a part of it. There's a banshee, so that was kind of cool as a kid. It's PG or it's,
Wait,
no, it's
I
actually
wanna-
Rated
PG.
G.
I want to look at this.
You know how
So-
many movies are rated G these days?
Here's,
not very many.
here's the movie description.
Oh, great.
A first-skilled storyteller named Darby O'Gill is desperately seeking the proverbial pot of gold. That's just one tiny thing standing in his way. A 21-inch leprechaun named King Brian. To get the gold, Darby must match his wits against the shrewd little trickster, which proves no small task indeed.
Oh, wow.
It's actually a decent movie. So if you want to watch something with your
Yeah.
kids that you feel like
Scale on 1 to 10. Is it a 10?
I don't know if it's a 10. I would say a 7 or
A 7?
something.
Wow.
Maybe
Okay.
7.5. I thought it was really good for its time. You know, I mean, things have changed over the years.
Darby O'Gill. No
But check it out. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
See, you have a
It's got.
thing.
I think it's got Sean Connery in it.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I'm pretty sure it's got Sean Connery in it. But anyhow, so yeah, I thought it was a decent movie. It's pretty good. The other thing was Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
was
yeah.
the Disney cartoon version. What was that called?
The Headless Horseman.
Headless
The Headless
Horseman.
Horseman.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was kind of cool. Now, as far as kind of more scary movies,
Mm-hmm.
I never really got into Friday the 13th. Or
Yeah.
I never got really into Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
but I did Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Man, when I watched that the first time when I was getting the first one, it kind of like
Spooked
freaked
you
me
out,
out
yeah.
because it was like my dreams, and you didn't know if you were sleeping or not.
Have you seen any of the like sequels and stuff? or
No,
anything
not
like that?
really. What happens when you have kids? You're like, oh, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's only, when you have kids and you have a family, there's only so much time you have.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
I would explain this to Adam. That you got to make your choices of what you're going to be able to do. Mine's video games, so I kind of switched to video games because, you don't have so much time
Exactly.
when the kids are in bed, sleeping.
So you dropped off movies and kept
yeah,
video
basically
games.
horror movies.
Oh, just horror movies.
Yeah,
Okay.
just horror
Okay.
movies.
So you were big
I don't
into
care if
horror
my kids see a bunch of violent movies. I just didn't want them scared.
You just don't want them to get jumped.
Yeah.
You're okay with them seeing murder, but not a
exactly.
ghost jumping out of a wall.
Yeah, that's just disturbing.
No,
Makes sense.
obviously. I'm surprised you might be you might plan on talking about it, but I thought you were going to bring up Army of Darkness.
Well, to me, Army of Darkness is not really a horror.
But I mean,
movie.
that's like a
The
good,
Evil
like-
Dead.
Yeah, that's a good
The
movie.
first one was actually pretty good.
That's a really good movie.
I mean, it's again, a lot of these movies, like the horror movies genre. If you go back and watch them again, like I did Nightmare on Elm Street, me and Jeff watched it.
Yeah.
Again,
not
I was
as-
like, "Whoa, this was dumb."
Yeah, it's like-
because all the good.
Well, I'd say like Chucky.
Yeah,
Yeah. Child's Play.
When I was a kid, they came out with the My Buddy dolls at the same time Chucky was out, and my parents got us a couple of them, and I can remember.
Got you, Chucky?
No, my buddy and
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And then like I can remember taking that My Buddy doll and slamming his head against my bedpost, just making sure he was dead.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
because you were scared he was Chucky.
I hated that thing.
Okay,
I hated
this is
that
a
doll.
this is a good story because my dad bought my brother one. I have a brother that's like a lot older than me, and it scared my brother because my brother saw like part of it on TV one time, and so he was like, "Okay, I have a My Buddy doll now. This thing's alive." And my brother, at night, he woke up in the night and saw like it was on his dresser, and he got scared and he threw it down the stairs. Well, my brother went back to sleep, and my dad went down to do laundry, and he was like, "Why is this down here?" So my dad
no.
went back upstairs and sat it back on the dresser. And
That
then-
could damage a kid.
Yeah, and then my brother was terrified because he swore it got him and walked back into place.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
but as I got older, I realized like, why didn't somebody just pick up their foot and stomp on Chucky?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
he's just a little doll.
I never really got into that. And
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
the Leprechaun movies and stuff.
I never seen
Yeah.
the Leprechaun movies.
Yeah, they're like horror. Supposed to
Yeah.
be horror movies.
Crazy.
Wrong Turn.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I don't
No, I'm just saying that.
Why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, what about
You
you,
good?
Dan?
Well, like normal, I had made a huge list just
Yeah.
because of stuff. But
Dude,
I'll throw out my
Let's
few
see 'em.
things as a kid. Number one, as a kid, I always watched Ernest Scared Stupid around Halloween.
yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
Ernest movies are just
Yeah.
hysterical,
Yeah.
and
I like his Christmas special.
yeah, and Jim Varney actually was a classically trained actor. Like
Really?
he did Shakespeare and everything, but he started that character off of a neighbor he had, and like he started doing like Mellow Yellow commercials and stuff. He has like tons of commercials, and that character just went crazy. So they're kind of cheesy, but I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Nowadays, one of the movies I always watch movies certain times of the year.
Yeah.
Like I always watch Groundhog Day on
Yeah.
Groundhog's Day. Halloween, I always watch Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
always
Beetlejuice,
my
that's a great movie.
always my
That's a good-
Halloween
that's a good
go-to
selection.
That's a
movie.
great movie.
And Ghostbusters, I always
Yeah.
watch that one on Halloween. And then one that I thought was interesting to mention, like it has a cult following now, is Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like
absolutely.
you see that all
Oh,
the
really?
time with like, especially like kids who are like '90s kids.
Yeah.
That Hocus
Same with
Pocus.
It's
like,
on Disney Plus now.
Same with Halloween Town.
Halloween Town.
That's another
Nightmare
one.
on Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. I
Yeah.
had that on my list.
That's a good one.
And
Just realized.
See, I never know when to watch that though,
yeah,
Christmas or
because it could
Halloween?
be Christmas or Halloween, and I don't like to mix up my seasons.
I think it's
No.
Halloween.
I think
it's designated
you gotta start
Halloween.
with Halloween
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
this is Halloween. This is
Oh yeah. And then I
sounded pretty
I
good
also
like that.
had
You sounded great, Eric.
Did you sing? Did you record that?
Someone clip that, please. That's the most beautiful I've ever heard Eric sing in my life. And this is a big moment right now.
Yeah.
I also had Adam's Family on my.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
just because I grew up watching the black and white.
Oh, the TV shows.
The
I really
TV shows
liked.
was
I mean,
great.
the movies were okay.
Yeah.
But the TV
And-
show, and then of course the monsters, right? Did
The
you ever watch
Munsters,
those?
yeah, those were good too. And
Yeah.
I actually just watched the Adams Family movie with my kids,
Uh-huh.
the new animated one.
Oh, really?
It was pretty good. We watched it last Friday night, and then it was like 1 a.m, and we watched it again because they still weren't asleep. And then we got up the next morning, and I think they watched it 3 more times.
Wow. So they actually like.
They liked it a lot.
I forgot
So,
that
yeah,
came out.
yeah,
so.
it was pretty good.
I'll have to check
It was
that
pretty
out.
good.
What else you got on there?
I had The Shining on there just
Oh,
because
that's
it was like
great.
because I knew you liked that movie,
Yeah.
but that's a
I
classic.
love that movie.
That's a classic Halloween movie.
Sorry. movie I really liked was Pet Sematary.
Oh, yeah, the OG.
The original Pet Sematary.
I did not like
I-
the new one. Did you guys see the
I
new
didn't
one?
No, I haven't
the
seen the new
It's
one,
not
but the
good.
old one
I
was
wouldn't
really
even
cool.
recommend it.
No, I have an issue with that because I have a lot of animals buried in my backyard.
Yeah, so do we.
So, yeah, the people we bought our house off, they
Are
used
they
to,
your animals?
no, they used to breed animals like little dogs, and they always kept a whole bunch.
Yeah.
You moved
And
into a puppy mill?
when we basically, and when we moved in, they stopped by one time and said, "Hey, just be careful," because we were digging our garden up. So be careful where you're digging. There's like about probably close to 200 dogs.
No
Are you
way.
serious?
Yeah.
Dude, that's
200
Yeah,
dogs?
yeah. So every time I'm mowing, I always just imagine a little doggy foot reaching up and grabbing me or whatever.
200 dogs?
That's what he
A
said.
little doggy foot.
That's what he said.
Like, what were they doing to
crazy.
kill 200 dogs?
Puppy
I don't
mills,
know.
dude.
Were they like there
Messed
for like
up.
25, 30
Well,
years?
yeah, it was over the years.
Well, shoot,
But
Christmas, though.
you would. It's probably why my grass grows so well. in the
Probably.
backyard.
Got all that
all that
fertilizer.
nitrogen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, you're going to have some fossil fuel in there one day. It's going to be a gold mine for oil.
Hey, that yard's got a little bark to it.
Gosh. All right, here comes Eric laughing for the next 15 minutes at his own joke.
Oh gosh.
No, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah. All right. I guess I can give mine now, if you guys don't mind.
Go ahead.
Oh, sure.
So I love Halloween. One of my favorite holidays. I just love fall. Everything gets a little crispy, and it's just a good time. So some of my favorites that I've watched.
Please don't say Hereditary.
No, I didn't put Hereditary on there. I do like Hereditary, and I plan on watching it this
Oh,
season
jeez.
again. I won't tell you about it. But I love the OG Scream. I think the
Oh,
Scream.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I like
I
this.
really like. I mean, see, I associate Halloween with a lot of like cheesy horror. And
Yeah.
I think all the Scream movies are that perfect blend of like really cheesy acting and
I know
like
what you did last summer.
yeah. But like all of them, I think there's 4 of them. They're about to
Yeah.
make a 5th
Yeah.
one. I've seen all of those, rewatched most of them.
I
It's
think
just
the first
perfect
2 were
vibe.
really
They-
good.
Oh, yeah,
I
for
really
sure.
like the first 2.
Like I remember the first one. The first time I saw it, like the plot twist over there actually like really surprised me.
And like you said, I like the fact that it was kind of playing on some of the rules
Yeah.
that you know in scary movies.
Yeah.
That they were kind of deciphering all those rules. It's
Yeah.
kind of like,
Still
what's
say
up
this
next?
today.
Yeah.
For
yeah.
sure, yeah.
Don't turn around. Don't look behind.
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Yeah, they're just kind of playing off that cliche.
I think it's pretty funny too that you brought up like the cliche horror movie thing because I didn't think about this until you said that, but immediately I thought of the Scary Movie.
Yeah,
like,
those are
spin-off.
good.
Yeah.
Those are good. Those
Yeah,
are good.
the first one.
Another
especially.
big one
Yeah.
I always watch is Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, that movie is so good.
So
Yeah.
freaking
So
good. That
good.
is the definition of playing on the cliche, and like it is so entertaining.
it's
So,
so
many
good.
references. I actually watched it. I think like 2 days ago, and I watched it on Amazon where like you can see the like X-ray thing where it tells you facts about like every scene, and I kept turning that on because like it would reference like every horror movie we've ever seen in it, just like different things they do. But yeah, that's a really good one, and it's not too scary. So,
No,
like,
because it's
for
got
people that it's kind of like dark humor.
yeah,
almost.
it's got that underlying humor
Yeah.
to it, like just
yeah.
the stuff that happens,
I think it's a genius.
and they need to
concept
make
for a horror
another.
movie.
They
I
need to
think
make.
so.
They could film another one, the exact same, different people, but just with different monsters.
Exactly, yeah.
And like that movie,
Yeah.
so like the scene where that they open up and there's all those elevators and there's just the
Yeah,
blood
that is
everywhere.
such a good
The only
scene.
thing that scene needed was a janitor coming out
Exactly.
with a mop bucket,
Yeah.
just starting to clean
Yeah,
everything up.
Absolutely.
The ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So the ending of that movie. Have you seen it, Corey?
It's Joss Whedon.
but-
I'm
Yeah.
about to spoil it, but the ending of the movie, like literally, so
I want to know.
the pretty much they're like faking these horror movies. There's like a company that runs it so that they can like kill the people in the horror movies and sacrifice the blood to like the gods that used to rule the universe that are living underground. And in the end, they don't kill one of the characters, and it makes them mad, and they literally end the world. And in an interview that the like X-ray thing said, as soon as the first screening ended, someone asked, "Is there going to be a sequel?" And he was like, "Have you seen the end of the movie, you idiot?" Literally, the world ends. It's so cool. It's such a cool thing. Another thing I put on here was Trick or Treat. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Pumpkinhead. That
Yeah.
character.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
really good like. I think it's like 3 short stories, in like one movie. So that's fun. What else do I have? I also have. I like to rewatch the old Goosebumps episodes that came out
Yeah.
in, like
Well, the
the
Goosebump
90s.
movie was pretty good.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it
Although,
just because
you
I
didn't
thought.
like Jack Black in it?
I mean, I love Jack Black, but I was a huge
I
fan
thought
of
you'd
it.
be a big fan of that.
Yeah,
I
but-
didn't like the second one, but the first one. was
Yeah,
good.
yeah, but I used to read the Goosebumps books all the time as kids.
Did you?
All the time as a kid. So
I'm surprised you didn't mention it.
it is really good
Because
too.
I thought you were going to bring that up.
Yeah, it's good. These are more like
What are we talking about?
nostalgia stuff. You know, it.
I'm just
We're just
kidding.
talking about
I know
it.
what it is.
Another good one for kids is a movie called Over the Garden Wall. It's like a cartoon like mini series, but you can watch them all in order. It's on HBO Max actually. It's really good.
Oh, really?
It's good like harvest theme. So yeah.
Another one I just was thinking about was the first Saw.
Saw, yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
I mean, I
great.
don't think the other ones were as good, but the first one,
I think the first two for me were the ones that I really
Yeah.
liked. And then
I just like the whole thinking behind it. 'cause,
exactly, yeah.
you know, you discover a lot. You're trying to figure out all this.
Yeah,
stuff.
it wasn't a slasher movie. There was
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
thought to it.
Exactly, yeah.
Like the Seven. There
Yeah.
was like the mastermind behind it
Yeah.
all.
Absolutely, yeah. That was really good. What else is there? Man, I've watched so
Oh,
many.
yeah.
Charlie
There's a
Brown
ton.
Pumpkin. We didn't mention that
Yeah,
one.
that's a good
Yeah,
one.
I was gonna mention that.
Yeah,
one.
but
Shut up,
for
man.
kids.
Sorry.
Don't be ashamed.
Okay,
Don't be ashamed.
I like my pumpkins.
I like my pumpkins. All right. So yeah, I think that wraps it up.
Woohoo!
Let us know what your favorite Halloween movie is. What's next? I don't have my script up right now.
Next is
is a
Hulk.
big topic for Dan.
This could take a long
So in the
Yeah,
I think in the
I'll try
last
to.
episode or the episode before last, Dan was talking to us about how we were talking about the Hulk on one
And
of
how
the,
good
one of
he
the
was in
episodes.
the Avenger movies.
No.
No, I think one of us was trashing him being a professor, and Dan let us know that we were not right.
I
And
was,
so
I was upset because I couldn't talk about it, and it
Yeah.
just
Oh,
bothered
here's
me.
your chance.
so
Just bothered me.
Dan's that's your favorite superhero, right?
Hands down.
How'd
since,
that start?
Since I was a little kid. I think as a kid, I just envisioned myself beating the crap out of everybody. Like I just kind of.
You had a lot of anger
Yeah.
issues as a kid.
I will say, as a kid, I used to have this. I used to have this kind of like, like you like daydream, but like think like, oh, this would be cool. I can remember as a kid thinking like it would be cool to like save people, like how you like set up a scenario, and I'd always
Yeah.
be like standing in the way and be like, no, you can't hurt those people.
Yeah.
And then the criminal or whatever would be like, get out of my way, little kid. And then I would just like, and I'd have Wolverine claws.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'd just take the guy out or
Yeah.
whatever. And then that kind of morphed into the Hulk. Like,
Yeah.
as a kid, I always like, I probably prayed like, dear God, please give me the Incredible Hulk powers. Like, I just like, just to turn into the Hulk. Because I've had those dreams before. The dreams when like you're the Incredible Hulk and you can
Yeah.
jump
Dang,
and
dude.
like those are pretty sweet dreams. But yeah, I think just as a kid, I just
You
I don't know. I just
gravitated
gravitated to him with Bruce Banner and just
Yeah.
the
to him.
whole.
Did you watch the TV show as a kid?
Oh yeah,
Those
yeah,
were
with Lou
good.
Ferrigno.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did, and I actually have a couple of the seasons even
Was
now
that
on
the
DVD.
first TV show that actually took kind of more comic books seriously, like on the TV show? Like the whole approach to that was a lot different than most comic book TV shows.
Yeah, I would
You know
say
what I mean?
I would say so because
It brought realness to it.
yeah,
in a
because
way.
it wasn't like this thing for kids.
Yeah.
Because like up until that time, comics were only read by kind of people who didn't grow up yet, and then
Yeah.
like sailors,
Yeah.
people overseas and
like
things
morning
like that.
cartoons.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there was
Yeah.
like TV shows with Spider-Man and
Yeah,
Superman
yeah.
and stuff, but this was like super serious. And of course,
Well,
Batman.
yeah.
that was kind of more spoof.
Yeah, but it was probably one of the first shows that was really well done.
Yeah.
I
Have you
mean,
ever
watching
checked
it
out
now
the
looks
old
look cheesy.
Hulk TV shows? I know they look cheesy, but
Yeah.
I thought at the time they were actually
But
well done.
yeah, they were really well done. They actually put money into it, and the
Yeah.
settings and everything were.
And
was really
who
well
played
done.
the main actor who played Bruce?
Oh,
Well, they even
you
changed
asked
his
me too
name. That was
fast,
why did
yeah.
they change his name? They changed his name because they felt like Bruce was too feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, because Stan Lee wrote him as Bruce Banner, and one of the comics, one of the small series, it came out that he called him Bob. He called him Bob Banner. They wrote it in the comic by mistake.
Really?
And then, and a lot of the fans were like, "Wait a minute, it's Bruce Banner, not Bob Banner." And then so he changed it to Robert Bruce Banner. But then there was people though too who thought
Huh.
Bruce wasn't manly enough.
Yeah.
Even
As
though
in-
Batman.
Yeah, even as a name. So technically his name is Robert Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And the actor's name. I'd have to look it up. I mean, I can see his face right
It's
here.
all right. We don't have to stick on
But
it. But
yeah.
I thought he brought a lot of credibility to that character.
Well, and his just the way that he kind of carried that persona of Bruce Banner. I mean, like when Ang Lee did his movie version, they kind of played off a lot of that, and just the way he carried himself, the way he walked,
Yeah.
and then even in the Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton, they kind of when he's walking from where is he in Ecuador or Belize or
Yeah,
wherever,
yeah.
they kind of carry where he's like slumped down and asking for like
Yeah.
he's like got his. They kind of played some of that too, and they even kind of gave tribute to that with Lou Ferrigno being the
Yeah.
pizza guy, the security guard. Thank you, brother.
Bill Bixby.
Bill Bixby, yeah.
Bill
Thank you,
Bixby.
man.
Shout out to Bill.
But
He-
yeah,
he was a good actor for that.
Yeah.
He really played
Yeah.
the part. Like
And-
you could see the conflict.
oh
in his
yeah,
stomach.
oh yeah, and he just passed away there
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
Oh, really?
so- But yeah,
See, but I think
No, yeah, go.
one of the things that really fired you up when we were talking is Logan was talking about how he felt like kind of the Hulk being reverted to mainly in the last two Avengers movies
Yeah.
as being just like the scientist professor.
yeah,
Saying that was like a weakness.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, so my whole thing going into Infinity War and going into the last movie, like in Hulk, so in the Hulk movie, you see his like with Abomination, you kind of see his raw power.
Yeah.
And then when you see him in Avengers, you see that power still. Like when they brought him into Infinity War and Endgame, he was just look at Ragnarok. You
Yeah.
saw his power. I mean, that battle with him and Thor is awesome.
Yeah.
They just played his character so wrong. And I can remember talking to Adam and other people, and I was like, please don't let them do Professor Hulk. Like,
Yeah.
just don't let them do that. And what they do, they did it. And I just think that is one of the worst incarnations of the
Yeah.
Hulk. I think there's
I
just
agree.
so many better there's so many better story arcs with him because he's a very deep character. But and I've said this all along. I keep going back to this. I feel like what they did for Hulk is they used him to showcase the other characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
They used him to show how powerful Thor was in Avengers. They used him to show how superior Tony Stark was. As a matter of fact, Bruce Banner is way more intelligent than Tony Stark.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's my opinion. But they just used him to showcase the other people's characters. They used him to showcase Black Widow's sexuality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hulk has ripped Wolverine in half
Yeah.
and threw his body up 6 miles of
Yeah.
a mountain. He's and I know they can't make him like the World Breaker Hulk, which is my
Yeah.
favorite version. I know they can't make him do that because he just tear everybody up and the movie would be over in 3 minutes.
Just be OP.
But you can't tell me that one of the best scenes in that first Avengers movie is when Captain America looks at him and says, "And Hulk, smash."
Yeah.
And then he just starts going. I mean,
Yeah.
they even pointed it out. Tony Stark even said, "We have a Hulk."
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They could make a movie. Think of the Civil War with the Hulk and the Hulkbuster suit, that battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was awesome. And you go into Infinity Wars and Endgame, they're what, 3.5 hours apiece?
Yeah.
And you got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet
No
that really
battle.
tipped you
Oh,
off.
I was. It aggravates me.
Yeah, I'm sure because it's like he was afraid the whole time,
Yeah.
right? So like after his battle with Thanos,
Thanos.
it was it.
And
Yeah.
I think the problem with that is I think when they went into that first fight when they were in space and he was on the ship with like Thor still and he fought Thanos, like I think they were trying to show Thanos' power.
Right.
But like in my mind, in no universe does Thanos hit Hulk and then Hulk doesn't come out anymore because he's afraid.
Yeah, and
Yeah, because the more
like-
angry he gets, the bigger
yeah,
he gets, right?
Well,
the
the
more,
angrier he gets.
Yeah.
and that was
Star
another
Wars.
thing. I was rewatching that movie too, and actually thinking about how Iron Man saved him. I mean, you shouldn't save him if you want the Hulk to come out. Just let him get beat up until the Hulk comes out.
Which is what he was trying to do in the first Avengers movie when he
Yeah.
kept poking him with stuff and he
Yeah.
told him you need to tread,
So
tread
why did
heavy
he
or
save
whatever.
him?
Yeah, I just think they did an injustice to one of the biggest characters in Marvel.
I agree that I think that they used him a lot like you're saying. It wasn't
Yeah.
like he had his own spotlight, especially
Yeah.
in the last two
Yeah.
Avengers movies,
And-
right?
Yeah, and
You liked him in the first one.
Oh, it's great, and I get it, and I like the Incredible Hulk movie. I mean, I like the one that Ang Lee did back in 03. It's not great,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I
it's
didn't like that one.
whatever. I mean, but
I
at the
did like
time,
the-
it was awesome.
I did like the previous one.
Yeah.
What was that one? Ed Norton?
Yeah, Edward Norton. Yeah, but I just feel like he's one of the biggest characters. He's generally in the top 5 most popular Marvel characters.
Yeah.
Like behind Spider-Man's usually the first.
Yeah.
And then you got Captain America, Wolverine, like those guys.
See, I think a partial thing was I think that he kind of got messed over with the first one.
Yeah.
Was a bad. I think the second one didn't do as well, probably because
No.
of the first one.
No, and then
Way
Iron Man
worse.
had such. It came out a month after Iron Man,
Yeah.
and Iron Man was still clear
Way
up
up.
here.
Yeah.
But it's not the worst. I mean, it's not considered the worst Marvel movie.
I think they should give Hulk another shot.
Listen,
Aren't
I
they
think
supposed
they
to give him another movie?
They need to, but what they need to do is they need to take it dark. Like you
Yeah.
guys were talking last week about the new Batman movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to do Hulk right, you have to take it dark because Bruce Banner is a dark character.
Yeah.
He's fighting demons. He's very
Yeah.
similar to Punisher
Yeah.
or like Ghost Rider. And he
Well, that's-
doesn't have to be like ripping everybody apart all the time.
No, that
But that movie has
leads
to go
me-
dark.
That leads me back to the TV show because I thought the TV show played that out more. Like it was
Yeah.
dark, it was
Yeah.
depressing, it
Yeah.
was. It wasn't like always a happy ending in the show. It was like he's
Yeah.
still struggling. He's still trying to figure out how to get through this. He doesn't. He sees the Hulk as he's not even sure about the Hulk.
Yeah.
Right. Because
Yeah.
he's. So there's a lot of conflict there. But anyhow,
Yeah.
I do think that it's time for the Hulk to receive another movie.
I think the
Yeah.
only time in any of those movies where it even hinted to that is I loved the one part where it was like when he was talking about how he finally could control it and he was like, I'm always angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I think that was the only even, and it wasn't even a big
Yeah.
thing, but it was just like a hint to what you're talking about like his demons that he's battling.
Yeah.
Like he can't control the Hulk at all, and then finally he's like been all around the world and they find him and bring him
Yeah.
back, and they're like,
Yeah.
how can you control it? And he's like, I'm always angry now.
Yeah.
So-
Well, yeah, which is interesting because if you watch the end of the first Hulk movie at the end, Edward Norton, when he's doing his breathing and it says days without incident 0 and his eyes flash green, that's basically them saying that he can control it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's saying I can control it. And then you take it up to, like you were saying, Avengers, he can control it. And then you take it to Thor Ragnarok. Well, then he can't control it because
Yeah.
Thor,
Yeah.
because he's taken over for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I just think he's a very complex character.
So what's your favorite Hulk storyline then?
Well, I mean, I really, really love the World War Hulk.
Okay.
It's like 50 issues, and it was very similar to Ragnarok, but the storyline is just so much deeper. He basically goes to this planet. Well, he's sent off by like the Fantastic Four and Captain America. They basically shoot him off into a ship because they're afraid he's going to destroy America.
Yeah.
And he gets to this planet that's like in Civil War.
Yeah.
And he helps them fight, and he marries the queen and has a
Oh,
kid.
yeah.
He has
Oh,
a
wow.
son, but the ship.
What's his name? Like
Scar.
Sakaar, yeah.
Yeah, Sakaar. He has a son, and then the ship blows up, which supposedly was killing his son. And then that's when he decides he's coming back to Earth. He gets back to Earth, and he basically makes New York City one of the football stadiums. He basically makes it a coliseum, and he rounds up all the superheroes, and he makes them fight against each other.
No
Oh,
way.
And so there's like 5 or 6 issues where he's just taking over, and then finally at the end, it's one of the supernova characters, like Adam Warlock or whatever, just basically blasts him with like this energy from outer
Yeah.
space, and he transforms back to Bruce Banner, and that's how that series ends. But
Isn't there a storyline where
But-
he rips Wolverine in half?
Yeah.
And then Wolverine, one half of his body
Yeah,
crawls to the
yeah,
other half of his body
yeah, that
across
is-
the world.
that's a
sick.
6-part Wolverine vs. Hulk Ultimate, and it's a 6-part series. It's really good. That would make a great movie. But yeah, he gets they're fighting, and he rips him in half, and he throws his legs 6 miles up a mountain, and Wolverine has to crawl all the way up the mountain, and he lays next to his body, and then over a few hours it fuses
No,
back
that's so
together.
freaking cool.
But yeah,
Now-
but the Ultimate's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Now that's kind of cool that you mentioned that because now that Sony owns Fox, that is a possibility that happen down the road, right?
The Wolverine and Hulk have fought in the comics, other than like Abomination or whatever. Wolverine and Hulk probably have fought more than anybody.
Yeah.
And they have 2 similar character arcs. They're off on their own.
Kind of loners.
they're loners. They need to be away from people so they don't hurt people.
Yeah.
And it would make a great storyline.
I think the hardest thing people have with doing anything Wolverine now, though, is like Hugh Jackman
Yeah.
was so ingrained
Oh,
as
yeah.
Wolverine, and now he's like, I'm done being Wolverine.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
So it's like, at least with our generation right now that would watch the movies, it's hard to picture anyone else
Yeah.
playing that character. So
Yeah.
it'd kind of be hard to
I don't
fill.
know if they would keep it up like that's what I like of what I've seen them do with Batman is that they don't stop, right? They
Yeah.
just kind of maybe they wait
Well,
a little bit, I guess, but then,
and
they
bring
keep it
in. I like when they bring in, like last week you guys were talking about Batman and stuff. I like when they bring in characters and actors that are no namers.
Yeah.
Give me somebody that I mean, it's okay when popular people do stuff, but they're so associated with other things.
Exactly.
You can't. It's hard to believe them as someone else.
are you saying
Yeah.
don't bring in our somebody as Mr. Freeze as Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, exactly. Because he's the Terminator. He'll always be the
Yeah.
Terminator.
Yeah.
And so, so give me somebody who maybe is like B-level, great actor, but that we've never seen before. And I think that's why those characters will shine on screen
Yeah.
because you don't
You don't know
you don't have any
anything, yeah.
pre-ideas about them. So, yeah.
I will say for me, my last, like, I don't know as much about the Hulk, like, obviously, as you, Dan. But my favorite Hulk moment from, like, that was my prime of watching superhero movies is I loved in that first Avenger movie when, like, after he said we have a Hulk, it was like Smash or whatever,
Oh,
he
yeah.
started tearing everything up. When, like, Loki was almost defeated, and he was like, I'm a god, and then he, like, beat the crap out of him,
Oh, yeah,
and they, like, spit, and he was, like, puny god.
Yeah, the theaters
Like,
erupted when that happened.
That was, like,
Yeah.
that was, like, the Hulk moment I was waiting for
Yeah.
in the other movies.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I agree with you, Dan. That Hulk didn't have movies or any moments like
Yeah.
that in the other two movies.
And
in game or
and that was you're telling me you're battling the biggest battle in the world to save all your loved ones, and one of your strongest characters just like,
Yeah.
and he's just running with his arm in a sling. Eh.
Yeah.
He had no screen time in that last battle.
Yeah.
How long was that last battle? 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And they showed him running. That's it.
Yeah. That's
I
annoying.
just think it's a slap in the
Yeah.
face to comic book fans. I mean, I'm just saying.
I agree.
Sorry, Marvel, but I've supported you my entire life.
I think
Please
he
sponsor
does
us
need
still.
to-
Yeah.
I think he does. Now She-Hulk is coming out to Disney Plus
yeah,
at some point. isn't it?
yeah.
I've seen
What's that about?
It's his cousin. She kind of had the same kind of accident to happen. She has
What are
pretty
the
much
odds?
the same power
Yeah.
and stuff. Not quite as strong.
See,
but
I
yeah.
thought maybe she was on a different planet, but that's because there is a Hulk planet, right, or
She
something.
retains
Yeah,
intelligence, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know.
But there is
I
a
just-
Hulk planet, right?
Planet Hulk.
Planet Hulk.
Yeah, there was a Planet
What's that
Hulk.
about?
Well, so Planet Hulk spawned from the World War Hulk.
Yeah. What he was
And
mentioning
basically,
earlier.
he goes back there, and his son Sakaar actually survived. And then they launched a whole new storyline with him, which he's kind of like the Hulk, but he's kind of more savage. And
So the whole planet doesn't start as Hulks.
no,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
planet that was like
Okay.
under civil war, and
Okay.
he basically fights like kind of like Ragnarok shows like a Colosseum. He like battles these huge beasts and stuff, and he keeps winning because he's fighting for these people's freedom. But like Korg and Meep,
Yeah.
and all those guys, they're in the comic book.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought when I heard Hulk, Planet Hulk,
Yeah.
that
They're
that was
coming from a planet.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
a different
like-
species.
yeah,
now.
exactly.
Yeah, no. But anyways, so good stuff
Crazy.
though. Good stuff.
All right.
Dang. I love your passion for Hulk.
I'm sorry, I
It's
get a little upset, but I mean
He's
this
crying.
is something. Yeah, this is something that I just, as a kid, it's just been my favorite as a kid. And
Well, I'll tell you that I really enjoyed the TV show as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
watching the TV show, it was really good.
yeah, I like I said, I still have the first couple seasons, and I'll sit
Yeah.
down and watch them every couple years or whatever. And like I said, it does now. It seems kind of cheesy, but they still hold up.
Yeah.
They're no more cheesy than any other show made in the '80s. Chips
Yeah.
or
18.
A-Team, whatever. Yeah, 20 million bullets and no one got shot.
Yeah. Always put them in a factory or warehouse, garage. Is there tools? Yeah, we'll put them in there.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, now I'm excited for this. Dan is known by everyone as being the guy that just has a bunch of random facts.
Oh yeah.
And he is going to share some with us, and we're just going to react to them. I'm expecting to learn a lot from this.
So be careful, you
Or
might
lose
learn something.
intelligence, one or the
I,
other.
I'm expecting to learn a lot of stuff that I will never ever need to know.
You'll never need to know this
But Dan knows it. He's got it stored up in there somewhere. He has a whole section of his brain.
Yeah, it's just useless knowledge.
So yeah, hit us with a random fact.
Okay, well, I'm going to start with one that I think I mentioned on the first podcast, maybe. But this is my favorite kind of little tidbit.
Little tidbit.
Most humans are carrying around 5 pounds of feces and waste in their body at any given time.
That's
Wow.
insane.
And so,
I got to get rid of mine here in a little bit.
so if you wanna lose 5 pounds real quick, what a lot of beauty pageant people do is they go and get Clonix the day before their beauty pageant.
oh,
they
wow.
just-
And they flush 30 gallons of water through you,
Oh, gee.
and so it cleans out like your colon, your bowels, everything, all the stuff that
Holy
sticks to the
crap.
inside of your organs.
Oh
so you
my
can lose.
gosh.
So if you need to lose 5 pounds real quick to make weight,
Dude.
like you're gonna box or something, or wrestle,
That's good.
yeah. So that 5 pounds you can.
I might have to look into that.
I just do it every once when I impress my wife.
That's like, guess what? I lost
Look
5
at the
pounds.
scale, honey.
I've lost 5 pounds, but look exactly the same.
Less
Yeah.
than an hour.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
crazy.
you
But I
know,
don't feel well.
or you can just use a average garden hose,
Yeah.
yourself. I sell a home kit, but if you're
Just
interested.
go Dan sells kids.
What you really need to do is like try and impress your kids and be like, I really got to take a big poop.
Yeah.
And then like weigh yourself first and then go do that and
Yeah.
come back. I lost 5 pounds.
That is something fun though, because there's a scale in my bathroom. Sometimes I'll weigh myself before
Before and after?
Yeah, before,
Yeah.
before I get dumping.
What we need to do is weigh our poo. Just
We'll leave that to you, but I do want you to do it because I want to.
You know what? I want to invent a toilet that has like a weight, like a scale in it.
Yeah.
And you can like zero it before you sit down.
Yeah.
And then you take your poop and then you stand up and like hit the button and weighs it for
That
you.
makes a lot of sense. Why have to stand on a scale when you can just sit down on
Exactly.
your throne and just know?
Well, that's
True.
that's what hospital beds, they weigh you, so you don't have to get
That's
people on a
awesome.
scale. They're just, if you're laying in the bed, they
Yeah.
like weigh it before the person comes in. And
I'm
when the
sure there's
person
some
comes
type-
in, there's a button on it.
I'm sure
You
there's
just-
some type of new toilet seat. All you need is to do the toilet seat. You could create that. That'd be
See,
a great
I-
invention.
Yeah. See, I wanna be able-
You can't weigh what's in the bowl.
No, but you weigh yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
said-
but I'd like
You're
to.
sitting on the seat. You
I
just
mean,
raise
it-
your feet up and it
It
weighs
would be
you.
easy to make like a little basin to go inside the toilet that catches
Well,
the poop before, and then it
That's what
weighs
I-
that.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm
Like a
thinking like a
toilet
little.
net?
Yeah,
I'm thinking like a
toilet
little.
net.
Yeah, well, that's what it could be. It could be like a little net like that,
Yeah.
and then it's got like weigh it, some way to weigh the ends to the pressure when
Weigh
it lays
mitts.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like a fish net, like the scales
Yeah.
for fish nets.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of off topic, but you ever thought about getting the lights in the toilet?
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
LEDs.
They sell the ones you just put on the back of the toilet.
Yeah,
like
we
the
had
walls.
one of those.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It didn't
I-
last.
What
I-
color? Blue?
I think it. I
Red?
think it changed. I can't remember.
Based on your mood.
Yeah.
So
based on your mood, based on what
It
you were
changes
eating.
color as you toot.
Oh, the light's
As you
red.
Red,
you
stay
fart
out
and
there.
then it like goes in different multicolors.
It's red. I'm gonna need some help in here.
code red, code red.
We're out of TP. We're out of TP.
Emergency.
Oh
Man.
gosh.
All right. Wait.
Let's
Quick question.
Yeah, go
has,
ahead.
has anyone ever used a bidet?
No.
I have not.
Dang it! I
Have
want to
you?
use one. I know that they sell like just stuff you can install real quick.
Yeah,
You
they
can
do.
make one at Lowe's.
$10 from Home
A garden
Depot.
hose.
Yeah.
Or you
No,
just take the
they-
shower head.
They have
Yeah.
them. They have them on Amazon now that convert like your
Yeah.
regular toilet, and it's only like $20.
See, I might.
Really?
I honestly
Sink
might get
hose.
one of those.
For your sink.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a really, really good
Valve, and there you
experience.
go.
Just being able to really be cleaned out.
Okay.
As long as the water's not cold.
Anyways,
They
Well,
also
it's gonna be
sell
cold in the
wipes.
toilet.
Dude, we've already talked about using baby wipes.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
It's a game changer.
it is a game
Yeah.
changer.
Just don't
It's a
flush
game
them.
changer.
Don't flush them, dude.
Actually, the bathroom.
Even if they say they're flushing.
It'll kill your septic tank,
Yep.
man.
Yeah.
Now, do you have like a little pack with you?
Not no
Now,
no.
the only time you can
should.
flush them is if you take them with you to other places.
No,
Because then you can
Not my
flush
house.
them. Not your house. I just mean like public.
Yeah.
Yeah, just destroy the city
yeah.
sewer
Yeah,
system.
so-
Yeah, who cares about that?
They
'Cause,
have,
I
Yeah.
mean,
they have degradable ones, biodegradable.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, well, there's a great episode of Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe.
Oh,
Watch that,
yeah.
where he,
Oh,
I think he's
yeah.
in Philadelphia, and he works for a company that
I've
goes in
seen that.
when the sewer systems back up, and it like
Oh,
backed into these
that's
people's
horrible.
houses.
That's
Yeah,
horrible.
it was all. It's pretty
Yeah.
nasty.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty nasty.
All right. Fun fact
Man,
number
I got a
two.
lot here. Did you know that airplane food is really not that bad at all? It actually tastes pretty good, but airplane food gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
But because you're so high in altitude, you lose about 30% of your taste buds for sweet,
Really?
sweet
really?
and saltiness. And so the airplane food then just doesn't taste quite as good. And then the dry air in the cabin of the plane.
So it
it's
actually the
not-
food is not that bad.
not that
it's
bad.
actually just your
You
taste
just
buds
can't
have changed.
taste. Yeah, you can't taste stuff.
That's interesting to me that it always gets a bad rap because unless you fly for a really long time, like if you're doing like cross country flights, they usually don't serve food.
Yeah.
Like you might
More
get
than 2
peanuts
hours.
Yeah.
or whatever, but it's like unless you're flying either first class going somewhere like really nice like to another country or you're flying like more than I don't know.
Isn't
3
there
or
a
4
reason
hours.
why they give peanuts out? Isn't it to do something with like nausea or something like that?
I
might be wrong.
I thought it was just the same as like why restaurants do it, so you get salty food, so you buy a drink.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
true. Except airplanes don't charge you to buy drinks on board, right?
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
think
You
alcohol.
probably
It
pay.
depends.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just suck on your spit.
So
Yeah.
why don't they just add more salt?
I
don't know,
I
man.
guess you could, but then you'd have a lot
Then
of
someone
people-
would sue him for like a heart attack
Yeah.
and they'd
Yeah.
get away with it. They'd
Yeah.
be
What
able
up?
to
My blood
prove-
pressure went up.
Yeah, no kidding. But that's
That's
a good one. Let's see here. This is one of my favorite ones that I think people should know, but that people don't know. The Statue of Liberty is not standing flat-footed. A lot of
Really?
people, she is not flat-footed.
Was she like?
So she's walking. If you look at the Statue
What?
of Liberty, I believe it's her right foot is down and her left foot is
No.
pointed up. And
I'm
there
looking
are
at pictures.
actually chains laying at her feet.
okay.
And her back is to England, which represents her breaking the
Leaving
chains
away.
of England and walking
Oh,
away.
that's
Oh,
And
my
you can
goodness.
only see it from a helicopter, though. You can't see it from
Oh,
the
really?
ground. But she,
Is there pictures of it?
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause-
of the
she's
platform.
walking.
Because it's
Yeah.
kind of
the
hard to
base.
see her feet from
Yeah.
right here, but I guess yeah, you're right.
She's
It looks
walking.
like her. Wow,
But most people think
that just
she's-
blew my mind.
Yeah,
Just standing still.
yeah.
You know what else I think is funny is a lot of people don't know that it's copper.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
actually
She looked-
green.
she was a
like it's
penny.
green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looked, and she's only what is it like an eighth of an inch thick? She's not
Did they
thick
know?
at
It was
all.
gonna,
Really?
I mean, they knew that the copper was going to turn green, right? Or did they not know that?
Well, it's the French, so I don't really know.
That might have been like a subtle like insult from the French. Like they were like, we're sending them this awesome copper
Well,
statue.
We were friends at that time, and they
Yeah.
helped us. If it wasn't for the French, we wouldn't have won the Revolutionary War
absolutely
anyways,
not.
because they blockaded all the English ships, so the
Yeah.
English ran out of supplies and
Yeah.
ammunition and stuff.
What
So.
what year was that made? The Statue of Liberty.
Oh man,
Gotta watch National Treasure.
yeah, 18. I'm seeing 1834 for some
And
reason. I don't think that's
didn't
right.
the artist
though.
make it his mom?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's his mom.
And they shipped it in two.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They shipped it in two large pieces. Like
Yeah.
two
Wait, Dan,
sections.
Dan, what?
I said 1834, but I'm probably not right.
1886.
Oh, so that's way off.
I heard that he kind of went bankrupt in some ways
Yeah.
because he actually needed support and asked for
Yeah,
more money
yeah.
to help finish the.
And
Oh
then-
yeah, yeah.
And there's
Didn't-
2 of them.
Yeah, there's
One's
2 of
in
them.
France. It's a smaller one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
There's
made
also one
2.
at Kings Island
Yeah.
or Cedar
Oh.
Point.
That's statue. That's the.
Oh, never mind. That's the Eiffel Tower.
That's the Eiffel Tower.
I'm an idiot.
But yeah, he did. You're right. He did
Same
make 2
thing.
of them.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Is it
No, it's
France,
not
the
the
second
same
one?
thing.
I believe it
I just said
is.
from National
I-
Treasure.
Yeah, I believe it is.
I think so, but there's. Never mind. I was gonna say there's another one. Isn't there a fake one in Las Vegas too?
Well,
But
Yeah,
that doesn't count,
It got
'cause it's
covered
fake.
in sand and by Resident Evil, the zombie.
Oh yeah, right.
but this is just he made.
He made 2. Yeah.
But yeah, and then I think you still can, but you climb up to the torch
Yeah.
and everything. But
Yeah.
they closed there a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's
it
probably
clo-
closed now because of COVID.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Thank you, COVID.
She'd sneeze you out, and then she'd just throw all the people
I
go on her
always
nose
thought-
to the Hudson Bay.
I always thought it would be so much cooler if they somehow rigged it up so the torch was actually like on fire, like a giant.
would
Wouldn't
be
that be
cool.
so cool?
I think you should just go do it.
Yeah, for
Like,
yeah,
just go
it,
see
would-
the
it would be
I
like
feel-
Or project fire on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
I
planes
should
could
make a
use it
brief
as
fire.
like an actual.
The beacon.
A
A
lighthouse.
beacon.
A beacon, yeah.
Yeah, I just think that'd be cool.
Oh man, I got a few here. I'm gonna
Keep
get a couple of my figure. The first Superman didn't fly, so like the whole thing that doesn't make sense. He can leap tall buildings with a single bound,
Yeah.
like that. He didn't fly. His first incarnation, he just jumped real high.
Oh.
But
You're
he's
talking about in the comics.
yeah. And then so when they started making the TV show in the 1940s, This is I thought this was interesting. Animators said, we don't want to animate him bending his knees and jumping all the time. That's too difficult for us to do. So we need to just make him fly. So we don't have to animate his knees bending.
So it wasn't in the comic books. It was actually in the...
So when they got to the TV series, like cartoon series, that's when he started to fly.
You know, that makes a lot of sense, though, that you say that about the knee bending thing, because that's the same thing with, like, in comics, how they don't draw, like, all the fingers on people.
Yeah.
Because they say that it, like, saves billions of dollars in animation, drawing just everyone having to draw less fingers on hands.
Or their hands are always kind of moved so you don't see all their fingers. Which most cartoon characters, other than comics, only have 4 fingers. You ever notice that?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Most comic, because on cartoons, they say it's too freaky looking. Like Mickey Mouse or The Simpsons or whatever.
Was there a weird reason why they
Turtles
put gloves on Mickey Mouse? Wasn't it to make it so that you could actually see his hands because like it was kind of blended in or something
probably.
like that? There's
Probably.
some reason behind it.
Well,
That
too,
makes sense.
when Mickey Mouse first started, he was dealing with black and white too. So
True.
Mm-hmm.
When they had to try to,
He was a boat captain.
Yeah.
Steamboat
Yeah.
Willie. First cartoon with sound.
yep.
There you go. See, man,
Another
I don't
fact.
know where stuff comes from.
Okay, keep going.
Let's see. Do you know what the dot above the J and I are called? Is called the lowercase dot. I think this is
And
interesting.
what?
The dot above the lowercase J and I.
Oh,
No.
I used to know
Yeah.
that.
What's it called?
What's it called?
I don't
It's
know.
got a name.
It does have a
It's a
name.
dot.
Imagine.
Yes.
That'd be a sick fact.
I want to say
it's called
I want to say like a
dot.
tilde. But
Oh, you're close. It starts with a T.
a tweeter.
It's close to
Tweeter.
It's close to the name of a golf company.
Taylor
No. That's a guitar company.
and you idiot.
The dot above the J and I is called a tittle.
tittle.
Oh.
That's
T-I-T-T-L-E.
That's very dangerous word.
Yeah. And so it actually
Yeah, totally.
people used to say back in the day, they would say
Don't forget your tittles.
no, it's too close. Like something's close, like to a tittle.
Oh yeah.
And that eventually evolved now it's to a T. Like get it done to a T.
Oh,
But it
wow.
was to a tittle. So
interesting.
there you go.
got a little too.
That's good.
Got a little too.
Um,
risque.
Oh, this one's interesting for all my people who have a kidney stone.
Yeah.
They found that riding in the back of a roller coaster can help you pass 60% more chance of passing a kidney stone.
Wow.
Not the front though. Not the front. You have to be in the back.
Why-
The
why
back's
the back?
bumpier. Right?
It's bumpier
It's a
and the
lot
movements
Oh.
and stuff. So
You
if
get
you
the
whip,
whiplash.
Was there certain roller coasters in mind?
they did
The Beast probably.
No,
could
they
get it right out.
there.
of you.
There's one at Disney, and I can't remember. I read a
Space Mountain?
thing. No, not
Rock
Space
and
Mountain.
roller coaster?
No, it's one that I never heard before.
Oh.
It's not a
Okay.
popular one, but they did a study on that roller coaster and found that they specifically took people with kidney stones, and 60% of the people would pass it riding on
Wow.
the back of a roller coaster.
Wow.
So if you got a kidney stone,
That's a
just-
fun way to do it.
Yeah,
Just
just
got to spend $5,000 to
So
get
basically,
That's
it makes me think that shaking in some way is a help
could
to kidney stones. Some type of disturbance.
yeah.
We could just start shaking people with
Which
kidney
is
stones.
stone?
We
Which
need build enough paint shaker.
yeah.
You just sit on the paint shaker and shake your kidney stone out.
Which they say it's a stone, so you think in your mind of like a smooth,
It's
like
not.
river stone, and it's like a spiky, jagged.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
There's someone that said a kidney stone is is trying to get a porcupine to walk backwards through a garden hose.
Oh, yeet.
They say that's the closest thing to childbirth too that
Yeah.
you can get to.
Yeah, I've seen people have it. My brother had one time. He
Oh,
was in
really?
the ER, and he was just like rolling
Jason
around.
or
No,
John?
John.
Oh,
I thought I mean, it was bad. Like he
Yeah,
was
I
hurting.
couldn't-
He was
I
hurting
did
bad.
drive to the beach.
Oh.
It's awful.
Yeah.
I would have been like jumping out and just running in traffic. Like, you know what I mean, like just
Dude, that'd be miserable.
take me, Jesus, to take me.
I know I'm gonna have one
Forget
day.
take the wheel, just take me.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Here's another one. In 1200, William I, who was the king of Scotland, do you know what Scotland's national animal is?
No.
The unicorn.
Really?
Oh.
The unicorn. Yeah. And they already have the Loch Ness. Here's my thing with that, William I. Sorry. But you already have Loch Ness.
He's got
Yeah.
beef.
Why are you taking all of our other mythical creatures?
True.
Yeah.
But so
Hands off.
it was on their coat of arms. Like he actually put it on the coat
Really?
of arms. The
There
unicorn.
are a lot of people that actually believe that it was an animal that went extinct. That's not like a mythical creature.
It got
like
left off the ark.
was it like de-evolution? It lost the horn.
Well, it's kind of like dragons. That's the same thing with Chinese
Yeah.
about the dragons because every
Pretty
other
much any mythical creature.
every animal in the Chinese calendar is a real animal except the dragon.
yeah, rat, horse, dog.
Yeah.
Wait, rats don't exist, do they?
Well, yes. They do.
Yes, and
Well,
and they
there's
are
actually-
delicious
There's actually
on a stick.
There's a theory about the dragon thing that goes along with dinosaurs being on the ark.
Yes.
So that's actually there is a theory that
Place.
Maybe. That's what I'm
it's
saying.
based
Maybe
on
there was a
truth that
unicorn.
like there was some kind of dinosaur that
Which-
we still saw at that point in time
Which
that they
would
called a dragon.
which would explain why Loch Ness is still alive because it could have swam in the water,
Yeah.
Exactly.
and all the other animals.
Didn't they supposedly like
dinosaurs
try and
died.
drain part of it because they had to fix something and they didn't find anything?
Yeah, I mean they never have.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
think, but we would have found something by now. So,
Yeah.
you
Come
know.
on, Ness.
Bigfoot's
Come
still
on.
out there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know.
Yeah.
I need to share my Bigfoot story at some point.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
this episode, but I went on quite the Bigfoot adventure.
Yes, you did.
One of
You
my
went to a
favorite
museum?
trips. I went to like the national. It was a museum, but it also was the national like place where people go to specifically like report Bigfoot sightings. So.
You don't mess with those people.
Oh, dude, I did though. It was sick.
Could you imagine that, Dad? I mean, like some dads are like, "Get out there, son. Get in that soccer field." I mean, could you imagine the dad who's the Bigfoot hunter?
Exactly.
Do you even want to help me find this Bigfoot? Where's your gear?
Where's your gear, son? We're going
Dad,
home tomorrow.
I want to play Nintendo with my friends. Get in the car. We're going to the mountains.
In the car. Oregon. That's where it all happens.
Yeah. Did you know that Jackson County, West Virginia, has the most Bigfoot sightings on the eastern seaboard?
Really?
Where we have church camp at?
Well, no, because I actually knew that because
Yeah.
at this conference that I went to,
It
I was
does.
sitting there
It does.
listening to this. I think it was about 3 hours long. The expert in Bigfoot research. He started mentioning places that I have been to and
Jackson,
like lived
West
close to.
Virginia.
Jackson, West Virginia was one
Yeah.
of them, and he played this video of them like searching this guy's house. So yeah, it's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think we should all take an episode where we go to Jackson County and look for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be sick.
We got
That's-
it on foot. We
that's-
got footage of it.
That's why we several retreats we did Bigfoot spoofs and stuff like at Ripley because that's where
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Bigfoot. So I'm surprised we never were shot or anything. Like there's Bigfoot at church camp. Yeah. So get your
I'll see if I can find footage. We'll
get your heart right with God because you're gonna be meeting Him soon. Oh my gosh. I got one more here.
Just
I'll throw
one
it out
more.
here. All right, here we go. Did you know that Apple? I thought this was interesting. Apple didn't create the first iPhone. There was actually a company called Cisco.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they released it 22 days before Apple did, and it used like Skype functions,
Really?
to process and everything. And they sued Apple actually, and they got settled out of court for like millions of dollars.
Oh,
but,
really?
Dang.
but most people probably never heard of a Cisco phone.
Yeah.
So
Cisco
yeah.
makes like routers and stuff
Yeah.
like that now.
Yeah, but yeah. So
Interesting.
Wow. I learned a lot.
and you will only remember
I don't-
5% of that.
I don't think it'll ever be useful.
I don't know.
I don't know, but the weight thing was important.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's important. I mean, that's the second time you've said it, so
And
I
I'm,
mean,
yeah.
never going to think poorly of airplane food again.
Yeah.
No.
true.
I'm just going to take
I've actually
extra
never had airplane food given to me on an airplane.
I think I'm just gonna put it in a doggy bag and just eat it on the ground and see if it tastes better.
Yeah.
It probably would.
Yeah.
And if you get a kidney stone, you'll know what to do now.
Yeah.
Ride roller coaster.
Go to Lowe's and sit on the
That might be
paint
a
shaker
good
machine.
preventive.
Preventative?
treatment. Yeah, preventative.
Yeah,
treatment.
and don't drink a
Oh.
gallon of sweet tea every day. That
Yeah.
helps too. Like some people.
Does tea really cause
Sweet tea
It's,
causes
it's,
a
it's
lot.
calcium.
Yeah.
There's a
Wow.
lot of it.
Calcium
Spinach actually causes kidney
Okay,
stones.
I'm good.
Strawberries.
Really?
Things I want to say calcium and potassium are the two things that like
No.
are major things that build up kidney
Now, does
stones.
the body naturally build up that too, or does it?
Yeah, well, there's there's like a natural level that's like normal in your body, but like yeah, sweet tea has a lot of it.
Why sweet tea?
I
Is
don't
it-
think
I
it's
think
sweet.
it's the
I think I don't know if it's just sweet tea. I think
Yeah.
black tea in general, which is
Yeah.
used to make sweet and unsweet tea,
Yeah.
is more common.
Yeah.
Does green tea?
I don't think so. I don't think
Oh,
green tea has the.
Another shout out for green tea.
That's-
Sponsors green tea?
Yeah, I mean,
A little more, you know.
Chinese people probably don't have a lot of that since they drink it a lot.
True. No,
I mean, I'm just
China.
guessing.
I'm gonna do my graduate thesis on the rate of kidney stones in Chinese culture based on tea consumption.
Based on their diet,
Yeah.
dude, you could get somewhere with that.
Making me hungry for rice for some reason.
I say Chinese one time and Luis immediately goes
Thought
to
of rice. Well, I mean, he can't be wrong. There's like 3 billion people eat it every
I
single
know,
day.
man.
so.
I love rice.
I think it's the most
Rice is
consumed
good.
food in
Shout out to rice.
Yeah.
Sponsor us,
We're on
rice.
General Chow's chicken.
Chow.
Just-
rattlestick.
Not Uncle Ben, though.
It's General So.
Not
General
Uncle
So, yeah,
Ben.
Chow.
Sorry, Uncle Ben, you got thrown off the San Francisco trolley and ran over.
Ooh.
Basically.
What?
They ran over Uncle Ben. They took the rice
Oh,
from him.
yeah, yeah.
What? Wait,
Understand.
what?
Oh,
Well,
because of
yeah, because you know,
Politically
just with
correct.
all the stuff's
Oh,
going on.
I didn't realize.
Same
they
thing
did
with
that.
Aunt Jemima and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just taking stuff away from people,
Yeah.
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 I liked Aunt Jemima.
giving it to
Rest in peace, Andrew.
rich
Jemima.
white politicians.
They want recognition.
Someone has a lot of Aunt Jemima's syrup somewhere, and they're gonna make bank off it one night.
It's
Andy
probably
does.
sticky.
Andy,
No, our friend Andy has a bottle of Aunt Jemima
I know he
syrup,
does.
the one that's actually
Yeah.
like shaped like her, that's like the female or whatever. And
36, 24, 36.
Yep. Exactly.
It comes out fast and slow, then
Yeah.
fast.
But he sent
Like
me
an hourglass.
he sent me multiple Snapchats lately where it's sitting on like his TV
Yeah.
stand
No, he keeps it
unopened.
there, yeah.
He keeps it there.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
dang. All right. Well, on that note, let's dive into Romans. So we're carrying on Romans. We saved Romans 8 for Dan, so he's gonna be reading some from Romans 10.
Sorry.
So I have Romans 8. Eric has 10.
I have 8.
Who's first?
I have 826.
I have 8.
I think I have
6.
8:18.
Oh, then that
I
would be
think Corey has it first.
8-6.
What do you have? 6.
Yeah.
Let her
Are we
rip.
trying to go in order? Is that
Let
is
her
that
Yeah,
what's
we're
going
going
on?
to try to go in order.
Okay, so I kind of started with I'm doing Romans 8, 6 through 8, and I kind of started with this because a lot of people know this verse. It's pretty common, but verse 6 is for to set the mind on the flesh is death, but to set the mind on the spirit is life. But it goes into detail here in verse 7, which I like a little better because it actually is kind of saying the same thing. But it kind of gives you some more background. It says, for the mind that is set on the flesh is hostile to God because it does not submit to God's law. Indeed, it cannot. Those who are in the flesh cannot please God. So I just thought that's really relevant to exactly where we are in this like current climate and time because like if we focus on everything that's going on in the world, it's so easy to get lost.
Yeah.
Like it's so easy to get caught up and angry and upset and just there's so much hatred right now.
Yeah.
And that's just not what God wants.
Yeah.
So
And you know that there's a bigger story at play
Yeah.
than just the current times.
yeah, absolutely.
God's story is bigger than the current times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So the bigger thing I need to do is focus on what God called me to do here and now. Because you can just get caught up in arguments, side conversations about something that maybe, you know, like even now. I mean, God knows the next president.
Yeah.
God knows
Sure.
the next 10 presidents. And again, I'm not saying you shouldn't represent. I'm not saying you shouldn't, voice your opinion. Or, of course, I think everybody should vote. But at the same time, like you said, Corey, to get caught up so much in the day-to-day arguments or issues, it's very easy to kind of lose your perspective on really why you're here
Yeah.
altogether.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we're
Yeah,
here
absolutely.
to bring people to Christ.
Exactly.
We're here to be a light to the
Mhm.
world. And so we got to keep that focused. And I think we can do that with balance of doing that and that being our main focus, but yet still voicing our opinions and our concerns
Yeah.
about what's going on in the world without getting too wrapped up in
Absolutely.
little
Absolutely.
side arguments. I
Yeah.
guess.
No. Lay it on us.
Okay.
I have 8:18. Am I next?
Sure.
All right. Here we go. This is a good verse. I really like this verse. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us. It's just 18. I'll just leave it there. Well, that's just a really good verse. It's just an awesome reminder that what the suffering that we go through is not meaningless. Like we have something to look forward to. Like the things that us as Christians go through as a result of being a Christian, the stuff that the world throws at us, because honestly right now being a Christian and the current views of the world don't really mesh well together, and a lot of people are getting put down for that. So it's just a good reminder that what we're fighting towards, what we're living for, is 100% worth it. Like, it doesn't compare to the suffering that we might go through. It's just nothing compared to it.
And you got to think when Paul's writing this, the Christians are persecuted severely.
Exactly.
And sometimes we think, we're kind of there, and I do think history repeats itself. So at some point, I'm sure it will be like that. But they were going through a lot more than what we're going through currently. Now, I do think, like you, it makes me sad to see Christians being made fun of or Christians being put down. Or sometimes we don't get the respect that we, we'd like to be treated just fairly like everyone else. And that we a lot of times get a bad rap. But that's the story of all time, right?
Yeah.
Because the world, Jesus says, the world hates me. It's going to hate you too. Don't be surprised by the world hating you.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're not going to always be loved as Christians.
Yeah.
We're not always going to be really respected or valued because.
Yeah.
But I just think it's interesting that we're reading this, and we kind of feel like these times are coming.
Yeah.
But what they were dealing with at the time as Christians was really concerning. I mean, they were being tortured, and Paul was being thrown in prison, stoned to death, and all these different things were happening to him. And he's trying to encourage the people to keep living their faith, even despite the difficulties that they're facing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, love that verse.
Okay,
The one we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, anytime in Romans, I have to share Romans 8:26, and I really like it because what Ryan read, he's talking about God helping us, just persevering, like God being with us. And then if you go to the end of that chapter, it's the famous verses like nothing can separate us from God's love, the heights, depths, principalities, everything. And so in verse 26 and 27, for me, it's just kind of that middle section that pulls it all together.
Yeah.
It's like we do have this great thing that we're hoping for, and we got to struggle right now, but what holds it together? And so it says in 26, at the same time, the Spirit also helps us in our weakness, because we don't know how to pray for what we need, but the Spirit intercedes along with our groans that cannot be expressed in words. The one who searches our hearts knows what the Spirit has in mind. The Spirit intercedes for God's people the way God wants them to.
Yeah.
And to me, when this verse really came to me, what I took it as is that there are some times in our lives where you go to God in prayer, you go seeking God for something, and you don't even really know what to say. You might have something that you're dealing with in your life and something that's causing you maybe just mental pain or anguish, and the words don't even come out. But I think what's awesome about this verse is that what's so special about our relationship with Christ is because it's a personal relationship, and it's our heart.
Yeah.
And only God sees our hearts and sees our true intentions. And the fact that it says, even when we don't know what to pray, the Spirit, which should live inside of us for Christians, the Spirit intercedes to God for us with groans that we can't even. So, like, I couldn't even put into words what the Holy Spirit takes to God for me.
Yeah.
Like, the Holy Spirit goes to God for me and intercedes for me.
Yeah.
So what I have to do is just remain faithful and still keep taking that to God. And God's will, the Spirit intercedes for God's people the way God wants him to. God's still going to work and move in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when I don't know, and people say that, you hear people say a lot, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what to say. It's okay, but you just got to keep taking it to God. You got to keep taking it to Him, and He is going to fight for you. To quote another one of my favorite verses is Exodus. When God was talking to Moses, and he said, "God is fighting for you right now. Just be still." Sometimes we just have to. Sometimes you just have to stop and just let God fight in your life. But that's easier.
Absolutely.
Easier said than done.
And it is really cool that God sends His Spirit to live in us, that He intercedes for us, like you're saying. There are times where we don't know what to say or how to pray, and God is constantly working in our lives. So it's not like, again, it's just amazing that God not only sent His Son to die for us, to save us, but then He sends His Spirit to us for us not to be alone, for us to have this comforter that comforts us, that gives us strength and boldness and power, really, from God to do the things that we can do for God. And so, it is really cool to know that there may be times in my life, and I know you've experienced it. I know all of us, I'm sure, have experienced that at times where, we really dealt with something hard, and God's there.
Yeah.
Mine was Romans 10, and verse 10 it says this: "For with the heart one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. For the scripture says, everyone who believes in him will not be put to shame. For there is no distinction between Jew and Greek, for the same Lord is Lord of all, bestowing his riches on all who call on him. For everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved." And I think this is just a beautiful picture of, the reason why it was kind of more exclusive to just the Jews, and it wasn't just the Jews. Anybody could believe, even in the Old Testament. There were different people from different places that would believe in God. But now it's totally opened up through Christ, that anyone that confesses Jesus as Lord can be saved. And I think that's just an amazing thing to think about, no matter where your background is, no matter what knowledge you have of God, that, and even people that have different elements. I had an uncle that had Down syndrome. It doesn't matter if you're a child, an adult, or somebody that's going through things, that God made it simple enough that we just have faith in Christ, confess our sins, and he is faithful and just to forgive us of our sins. That's just awesome, that we can confess with our mouths and we're saved. It's just having that belief and that acknowledgement to say, I need Jesus, I need God. And I think it's so amazing that God made it so easy and simple. But yet, it's like C.S. Lewis talks about it. Even the simple things are complex.
Exactly.
But it's really kind of neat to see that Paul writes it down, and he's just saying, okay, anyone can be saved. Anyone. So just make sure you're open to that. Make sure you're telling people about that. Make sure you're sharing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and just to throw something in, thinking about, I don't know if we talked about it last podcast or not, but it takes me out of the whole solution. There's nothing I can do to earn earn his salvation. There's nothing I can do. I can work for him and try for him, but at the end of the day, I have to understand that it's only him.
Yeah.
It's only God that can save me. It's only God that can raise me up and deliver me from my situations. And so when I put myself aside and just say, God, I need you, here I am, use me for whatever you need me to do, it totally changes your perspective on what God really is for us.
And I think maybe we shared this before, but it's totally different than any other religion in the world, because all the other religions teach you it's work-based. It's about what you do and how you do it and how successful you are at it. You are at it. But Christianity teaches, no, you're the problem. You're always the problem.
Yeah.
You need to put your faith in someone that can fix your problem.
Yeah.
It's simple as that.
That was okay.
That's good.
Wow.
I like
Good.
it.
Well, yeah. I think that wraps it up.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you guys
show.
for watching. Do we want to do a word of the day? We haven't done that in a while.
I don't know. What,
It's been like 2 episodes.
2 episodes?
2 episodes.
It's been 2 episodes? Okay.
I'd say Hulk.
Hulk?
I was thinking tittle.
Tittle.
That's-
There it is.
Tittle.
Tittle.
That's a good
Tittle.
word of the day.
Tittle.
Be careful how you type
Careful
that
with the
out.
spelling. Keep a close eye on autocorrect on that one.
Tittle.
Oh, it's
Ooh.
with 2 T's?
2 T's in the middle.
I thought it was with D's.
Oh,
T's.
Tittle.
So be careful.
So yeah, drop the word
yeah,
tittle
no,
in the
no
comments.
double D's, double T's.
Go check out Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Shout out to that guy. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. See ya next episode. Thanks for being here for our 20th episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Love you
See ya.
guys. Mwah.
Woo!